Hi, this is Josh with Retro TV 1 Tech, and today I have something kind of fun for you in this Retro Quick Byte. I've got two identical Toshiba Tecra 500 CDTs here. These laptops are about 27 years old. They were released in 1996, so the batteries should be about 27 years old, even though one of them has been refurbished supposedly, and the other one just came with the laptop. So they're approximately 27 years old, maybe a little bit newer, but I want to see how long does a 27-year-old battery last. So we're going to do a little bit of a time test on this. Let's get started. I'm going to power them up while they're plugged in, and so that way we can get a really accurate measure of how long they truly last. So we won't take them off the charger until everything's running and ready to go. Now the one on the left actually has compact flash installed, and the one on the right is running on a regular spinning hard drive, so might be a little bit of difference in battery there, but the one on the left actually has what looks like the original battery in it, which still miraculously somehow works. And the one on the left actually has a battery that I got refurbished from a website I found online, so we'll see which one lasts longer. Also, I should note that while these are booting up, I went ahead and ran both of these down to 0 and then gave them a full charge to kind of get that full charge cycle simulation. And you can see the one on the left boots up a lot faster because of the compact flash. Alright, we're still waiting on this one on the right. By the way, this one on the right is the Nike laptop. It actually comes from somebody who worked at Nike, and it even had the desktop background still installed on it, so that's pretty cool. Should probably take that networking thing off of there. I was only using it to get some files on and off of it with the Ethernet card on there. But either way, this one's finally booted. You can see the one on the left has some screen issues. I'm not exactly sure if that's like a shadow mask type thing coming off or whatever it is, but probably have to get a new screen for that eventually. So I'm going to pull up the battery display on both of these so we can see this, and we're going to let them go to screensaver. I've got the pipes screensaver selected here. And you're going to see that both of these they're not going to show 100% battery just because they're older. I actually had the one on the right showing 100% at some point, but they're just not going to show 100% most of the time just because of how old the batteries are. So the one on the left is showing 94% and the one on the right is showing 98%. Get a little closer view. One on the left, 94, and the one on the right, 98. And I'm going to use my iPhone for this test. I should point out it's not scientific, it's just for fun. So there's a lot of variables here, obviously, that I'm not going to account for, but this is just something fun, just to see how long these will last. Let's see which one dies first, and let's see, or maybe about the same time, and let's see how long they actually last on this full charge. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, though, is actually turn the brightness down. Let's see here. There we go. Looks like it already was down on that one. We're going to turn it down on this one as well. So there we go. So now we're down to low brightness, so it should last a little bit longer that way. All right, so I'm going to unplug these as close to the same time as I can, and I'll hit the start button on the phone. Now, I'm not going to be able to hit the start button right away, but it'll be within a couple seconds. So here we go. There's 1, 2, start. Okay, so you can hear the fans went off. Actually, these laptops are set, both of them, since they're the same, they're set actually to have the fans not run when they're on battery power, which is probably a good choice for efficiency. So we're into the test. We're off and running, and we're maybe a second or two off, but again, this is just for fun. So we'll see what happens. And by the way, you can see we're only about a minute and a half in, and they've already dropped a couple percent here. But I wanted to mention really quick that I will be keeping them awake because they're already automatically set to turn the screen off, I believe, every 10 minutes. So I'm going to try and check back in and make sure and keep the screens awake. Otherwise, they're going to be on screensaver. But when the screens actually turn off, I'll keep them back awake, and we'll just see how things go. About 4 minutes in, I thought you'd enjoy seeing the pipes screensaver. How many of you used the screensaver on your computer back in the Windows 95 and 98 days? Lots of fun, and I just thought this one shouldn't be too CPU intensive, but it'll keep the screens moving and doing something for this test, and it'll keep the battery usage just fairly regular, I would say. Not too overtaxing, but not too not too easy either. All right, we're just over 15 minutes in here. One on the left has 81% and the one on the right at 84%. So it's going to be pretty close, I think. It really depends on how accurate the battery meters are and which one dies at what power level. When I ran these down before, I actually noticed that one of them died at like 29% and one of them died at like 20%. So we'll see what happens this time. They definitely won't go all the way to zero. These battery meters on Windows 98 definitely, or 95, I guess in this case, excuse me, definitely aren't that accurate compared to what we have now, where they will go pretty much all the way to zero. All right, we're almost 30 minutes in here, and let's check the battery levels. All right, on the right we have 71%, and on the left is 69%. So they're actually getting closer together. Interestingly enough, when I ran them down earlier, I hadn't filled them all the way up, so it wasn't as scientific, of course. But either way, the one on the left was draining a lot faster than the one on the right, and now they're more even. Really, really interesting. All right, we'll check back in a bit. All right, so we're just over 46 minutes in, and computer on the left is at 53%, and the one on the right is at 55%, so we're holding that 2% difference there, and we'll just see which one shuts off first. But we're getting close to that halfway point, so you can kind of guess that we're going to be close to maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes, somewhere around there, if things hold up with this current state of drain. So we'll be back in a second. We just passed the hour mark, so let's check in and see where we are. Ooh, we're closer now. 41% on the right and 40% on the left. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next about 30 minutes to see how long they last and see which one cuts off first. They'll start beeping at some point when they're getting close to turning off, and we'll just let them go ahead and turn off. All right, just a couple seconds ago at an hour and 11 minutes, we lost our first computer on the left here. And the one on the right is still going strong. So that's really interesting. So the one on the left lasted about an hour and 11 minutes. I didn't get the camera on fast enough to show it as it was dying. It only beeped for just a couple seconds. But yeah, the one on the right, we'll see. Maybe it'll go to an hour and a half. It'll be interesting to find out. All right, we've reached about the hour and 20-minute mark, and we're at 22%. I don't think it'll go much under 20%, so this one I think will be off pretty soon. I just went to screensaver, but we'll see what happens. All right, looks like we're about to lose this one. It says 0%. We'll see when it actually dies. Wow, it just went back to screensaver. That's crazy. It says 0%, and yet it's still going. I am really curious now on how far this will go. Been a couple minutes now already of beeping at 0%. Oh, and that was the end of it. I shouldn't have messed with it. I was going to go ahead and put it so the screensaver didn't come on in 1 minute, but there you go. 1 minute and 23, or sorry, 1 hour and 23 minutes was the grand total for this laptop on the right that won the challenge. It does have supposedly a refurbished battery in it, and the other one has the original battery, so the other one at an hour and 11 minutes and this one at an hour and 23 minutes. That's really good for 27-year-old laptops. All right, everybody. Well, that's all for now for this Retro Quick Bytes video of us just seeing how long a 27-year-old laptop's battery will last. Pretty cool that I got them to last for an hour and 11 minutes and an hour and 23 minutes respectively. It's pretty incredible that they can go that long. A lot of batteries I've known, even computers we got in the 2000s, the batteries died within a couple years. So I guess the old saying really is true. They don't make them like they used to. And these are standard lithium-ion batteries, very similar even with older technology than what you find in the phone that's recording this right now and in your very own phone and every other device that's got a lithium-ion battery. So they did start using those in the mid-90s, and they've been using them ever since. And again, technology's improved, but it's interesting that these older batteries still work after all these years. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and let me know what the longest device you've had have a good battery for. If you've got a laptop that still holds a charge after 20 years or more, or if you've got another older device that still holds a charge after a long time, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. All right, but that's all for now. So for now, enjoy that tech and keep it retro.